Hey there, my Fast Track superheroes. It's Colton here again for another Fast Track Transition Services video. This one's gonna be a little bit short, but it's gonna be a necessary evil that you're probably all gonna face this question whenever you get ready to graduate and transition out of high school. So the question is school. I know, say if you're a senior, you've just graduated. And now what? Well, you got some options. You could maybe go to school more, or you go right back into the workforce. So today we're really going to focus kind of on your aspects of, is it right for you to go to college or university or whatever. I briefly talked about this kind of in my last video. There are different types of schools, different types of colleges, universities, and things that you can go to that may meet your needs more than one of the others. So it really just depends on what kind of career you're wanting to get into. Some particular careers require a much larger degree than some other ones. So maybe if you're, I don't know, say into automotive and like fixing cars and doing things with cars, all you may need to do is maybe do a couple months of school, get licensed or certified in something, and then you're good. And maybe just do yearly trainings on different things of new technology and different things like that, while somebody that's going to be like a doctor per se has a lot more school that they have to go to than somebody that would just be working on cars and is more hands-on. So I'm going to go like over the different types of schoolings that you possibly can get and things like that. So I'm going to start with the shortest and then kind of go to the longest. So first one is kind of like I mentioned before. Say you're wanting to do more technical things, like more hands-on stuff. There are programs that allow you to do this. So like a popular one is automotive technology. So it's like fixing cars, oil changes, tires, things like that, like being a mechanic. You don't really got to go to school for it, but it helps to have some of that knowledge and more hands-on training to do. You also can do what's called like an apprenticeship. If it's similar to kind of school, but you don't get paid, where you study under somebody that has been in the field for many years. They teach you how to do things along those lines. Apprenticeships you really don't have to pay for. Some of them you do. However, with some of like the technical things, we call them like certificate programs or trade schools. Trade schools are, you go for a specific amount of months or so many times, and wham bam, you're done, you're certified in whatever you're doing, and you're good. The next level up is maybe like a 2-year university or like a community college or things like that. Or you get a 2-year degree, and it's usually called your associate's degree. Now it can be an associate's of science or associate's of arts. It just depends on kind of what your career. Science is more like biology and things, and arts obviously is more like arts and language and things like that. So you can get that. Now I will say, getting a job and maybe your career interest with only an associate's degree probably isn't very likely, unfortunately. So you may have to do some more schooling, which brings me to my next thing, which is a like 4-year university or 4-year college, where you learn everything. Now, a lot of people ask me what's the difference and what's the best way to go. Do I go to community college first, then transfer to a 4-year university to finish out, or do I just start at a 4-year university? Well, that really just depends on you. Do you want to get the on-campus experience of living with other people? Maybe you're into sports and maybe you're playing a sports for that college. And we can sit down and talk about that as well, and talk about the pros and cons of different things of going to a 4-year versus a 2-year university. Myself, I went to a community college for 2 years, then I went to a 4-year university. With that, you take, like at a community college, you take your basic classes like math, science, reading that are required, and then when you transfer to a 4-year university, you take more of your classes that you're really into, that is more toward your degree. And so, oh, a lot of places will hire you after you get that bachelor's degree or that 4-year degree. However, some career fields require you to have more education. So, like for mine, I have my bachelor's in social work. In order for me to really get a decent job that pays well, I have to get my master's degree. I'm in the works of getting that, but you have to have that master's degree in order to really practice being a social worker. So, and the same kind of with like teaching. If you want to be a teacher, you got to have your master's, and that's really important usually. And so, just having that, it's just really more concrete, and that can take up to 1 to 2 years depending on how many different things you who are getting into and whether you have some other college experience. It's just really a mess, and we can go over that as well. Then the last one kind of is your doctoral or PhD. Now this is for a lot of really high up things, like say if you want to do like teach at a university, this really is necessary to do that, as well as maybe if you want to be a doctor or different things. And you really can get a doctor in almost anything, but is it really necessary, and do you want to waste that money to do that? And that's another thing too. College, it can be kind of expensive. So working with the college you're working at, getting scholarships, doing what you can now, like volunteer work and things like that, to make sure you have enough money to actually go to college. And another big thing that goes with applying for college is filling out what's called the FAFSA. A FAFSA is a very time-consuming, lengthy process of getting your parents' taxes, and if you work, getting your taxes and putting them all together to see how much money you make. And then from there they decide, oh, is the federal government going to give me money? Is the state government going to give me money? If yes, cool, college can be paid for. If not, you got to figure out how to pay for it yourself or take out student loans. That's a whole different topic that we can get into if you really want to go to school. But that's kind of the gist of like college, and college can be the best time of your life. It's a good experience, and you're going to meet a lot of really cool people and do things, but sometimes college isn't the best fit for people, and sometimes you just want to go straight into the workforce, which is totally understandable. I can get that, and it's great. So kind of like I usually do, I'm going to end on the superhero highlight for the week. We're going to talk about one that I think you probably all should know. If not, then it makes me feel old, but it would be from the X-Men, Professor Xavier. Now, Professor Xavier is a paraplegic, so he's a wheelchair user. And interesting enough, he has psychic, like telepathic powers. He can move things with his mind. He can read minds and do all this stuff. Well, kind of how this ties into like school and things is he actually started a, I guess, type of university for the X-Men, or superheroes, or mutants as they're called in the comic books. People who have these different types of abilities. Is to kind of learn how to use them and go through the basic schooling and things like using their strengths to help them. And that's what I find really interesting about Professor Xavier is he's a really cool guy opening up this school and like a safe haven for all of these people that are being like persecuted and isolated and for being different. And he took them all in one place and was teaching them how to use their powers and how to use them for good. And it was just a really sweet and interesting dynamic. Well, that's really all I have for you guys today. I hope everybody's staying safe and staying well. And I always want you guys to remember to look on the upside, and I'll see you guys in the next video.